Now, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to say something that's going to upset you guys. But I love the protagonist in this more than I like the protagonist in Scum Saving System, just like how I like the protagonist from Mistakenly Saving the Villain more than I like him. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love him. He gets me laughing and hooting, and it's just, he's hilarious. But he's also doesn't do anything. He just has everyone do everything for him, and then he gets to have a happy ever after most of the time in this story. He just runs away from his problems until he's forced to solve his problems, but he doesn't actually fully solve them himself. He just gets everything handed to him on his lap, handed over to him. He literally has a golden spoon throughout the entire story. Even before his transmigration, he had a golden spoon. But this dude actually works. Like, he's running his country as an emperor like he's supposed to. Like, people noticed that once he took over the body, he actually started being an emperor. He started running his country. And he especially starts running it after the Meli was sent packing, that he sent the Meli back to his country. Like, he's actually serving his country. He's actually doing the work as an emperor, to the point his sister was telling him to rest and take care of himself, that don't cause himself to be sick. So the main character, he's not having much luck though. Like, he's saving funds. He's trying to make sure they have money so when the Meli comes knocking on their door, except a drought happens and he needs that money to help his people, take care of his people. But guess what? The greedy, selfish officials were trying to keep all that money to themselves. It's almost caused a rebellion against him by his people. And he goes, yeah, no, you guys aren't doing that, which really enriched the Grand General to his side. The Grand General, seeing him attack, belittle, and put those greedy, selfish officials in their place, stripping them of their jobs for what they did to the common people, enriched him to his emperor, to the main character. Then they have a tribe who stole one of their territories, one of their locations, and the young soldier comes to the main character, tells the main character, I will go get that back. And he does. He gets it back and sends those tribes people running. The male lead attacks way sooner than in the original storyline. So the main character's like, oh no, we're doomed. This is trouble. This is trouble for us, especially since the young soldier is still in the location he was. So the Grand General's fighting by himself. He also is wary and anxious, like I said before, of the Grand General betraying him for the Mali's country. The rations don't get to the Grand General like in the original story, but unlike in the original story, it's not because of the greedy, selfish officials and not because of the original host. No, the rations were supposed to arrive, but a blizzard, a avalanche happened, and it destroyed the rations that were supposed to be sent. And the young soldier who was supposed to leave his location and arrive to the Grand Deputy with the second round of rations arrived too late. They had no food at this point, so they thought, oh, we'll attack the Malite base and steal their rations and take it off for ourselves until the second set of rations are supposed to arrive. Except that fails, and the Grand General decides, hey, I won't let them have the rations either, and kills himself with his soldiers to keep the Malite's forces from having their own rations. So yeah, by the time the young soldier arrives, his grand deputy is dead. And again, I was telling you, these two had a romance going on. Like, when the main character, right after the Malid was sent packing back to his country, the main character got himself drunk, literally a drunk, and made the Grand General drink with him as a punishment for letting the Malid escape, even though the main character was the one sent him packing. They both got drunk and they both were talking about their husbands and spouting things about their husbands. Yes, showing that this man liked him. And also there was a time when after the Grand General got his position, he had a little party for everybody that was close to him. He invited his soldiers, invited the young soldier, and like there was a teasing moment between the two of them being like, oh, neither one of you are married. And again, tease each other later over that. And yes, so the Grand General is dead, and the main character finds out. And at first, before it was reported that the Grand General was dead, the main character assumed, oh, he betrayed me like he did in the original story. Nope, he finds out he's dead, and again, is heartbroken and blames himself because, again, the Grand General was not supposed to die in the original story. He lived in the end and became the Meli's right-hand man that did all of the work for the Meli. just like in Scum Saving System, where the male lead and the main character leaves all the work for the writer and the Ice King. And this, the original person who was supposed to do all the work for the male lead is now dead. By the time the male lead arrived to the imperial capital, most of the servants, most of the officials and soldiers had basically left the palace. They just ran off on the main character. The only people who stayed by his side was the eunuch and his sister. He convinces the eunuch that he's going to self-sacrifice himself for their kingdom, and that he apologizes that he did not listen to the eunuch when it came to the male lead. He knew the eunuch did everything he did was for the protection of their kingdom and empire, and the main character basically ruined all the work the eunuch had done, that he didn't listen to the eunuch and it caused all of this. And he apologizes to the eunuch, and the eunuch is like, no, I'll stay by your side. But the main character finally does convince him to leave after he promises the eunuch to do his hair. So the eunuch does his hair and leave, but the eunuch doesn't survive at the end. He goes to the temple and commits suicide to sacrifice himself for the main character's future, or at least next life, so the main character would have a better life than the one he has now, or at least his life in the future won't be so grim. Just like I did with the right-hand woman, I bawled when the eunuch and the grand general both died. Like, I was literally bawling because these people died protecting the main character or giving the main character a better future or chances, and I just like could not handle it. I was literally bawling. I was like, why this? The person working alongside the male lead's forces is the male lead's uncle, and the uncle really despises the main character and the main character's country, and he wanted to humiliate the main character once they capture the main character. He didn't even want the male lead anywhere near the main character, and at first the male lead wasn't going to come towards the main character, but when he sees how the main character is being treated, no, he could not stand for it. He goes and gets the main character and brings the main character to his side, which frustrates and upsets his uncle, especially when his uncle believes he's been the main character's pleasure slave, that the main character has done things to him, when in actuality the main character hasn't done anything but kindness and care to the male lead. The male lead even drags the main character to the place where the original host was killed, and obviously this freaks the main character out. Like, the main character is full on anxious. He's wary, he's worried, he's upset, like he is frantic about this. Like, he is not thinking things straight, which honestly I do not blame him. But I'm also going to say the same thing to him when I said to the main character from Scum Saving System. Don't assume the worst. This is not the original story. You are not the original host. You have not done the same things to the male lead as the original host do. Don't assume the male lead will give you the same level of treatment, that he will do as badly to you as he did the original host. But now the main character is not hearing me. He is literally threatening the male lead with a dagger, and he's typically not going after the male lead with a dagger. He's going himself with a dagger. Like, he is literally harming himself with a dagger, telling the male lead that this is for everything here and there, like listing off all the horrible things that were done to the male lead and done to his people. He's just doing these cuts and saying, no, don't harm my people, don't hurt them, I will suffer. Obviously, the male lead is furious by this and storms to the main character's side to stop the main character, but it's too late. The main character passes out. And I was like, oh, this is so messy. This is messy, just like in Scum Saving System, where the main character, offed himself and got into a new body just to escape the male lead. It's literally like that. And I'm like, guys, stop over dramatic. Think things through. You are not the original host. The male lead is not himself from the book. Don't act like he is.